Pokemon Gold and Silver. The second generation of Pokemon games inspire the second generation of Pokemon Month videos. How's it going? Sorry these are a little late, but hey, I'm busy. Give me a break, right? These two came out in 2000 in the United States, 2 years after the original Pokemon games arrived on our shores, 1 year after Pokemon Yellow, and we were ready for new Pokemon. And these games delivered 100 new species of Pokemon in these new games, and with them, all 150 original species. Well, I don't think Articuno, Moltres, and all that were in this game, but you get the point. You could actually transfer your old Pokemon from Yellow and Red and Blue, or Green, I think, in Japan, but anyway, to the new games. And so you could keep your old badass Pokemon, like the 100 level Alakazam that kicked everyone's ass in the first game. You could bring it there and kick everyone's ass in the second game. Gold and Silver were great expansions of the Pokemon franchise. They added a lot of new elements that are still appreciated today. And when they took out some of those elements in the third generation of games, people were pissed. I'll talk about some of those elements now. They actually added 2 new types of Pokemon. These helped balance out the Pokemon types a little bit. They added Dark and Steel, both of which are types that I really enjoy. They're just kind of cool. In the first game, Ghost and Psychic types just kicked everyone's ass. Pokemon like Alakazam and Gengar and Mewtwo and Hypno to a lesser extent, they were just really powerful and they didn't have many weaknesses, so they just conquered everything. Basically, there were only 2 types that were supposed to be good against Psychics: Bugs and Ghost types. Now the problem with Ghost types is that it was wrong. For some reason the programming was just messed up and Ghost type attacks couldn't be super effective against Psychics. Of course, there was only one Ghost type attack that would have filled out that requirement, being Lick, and it was really pathetic. So nothing really hurt that from the Ghosts. Bug types, there wasn't really any powerful moves either, and there weren't really many powerful bug types, so nothing really kept Psychics in check. Alakazam could run through things that didn't really have a balance against it. Plus, the only Ghost type was part poison anyway, so it got its ass kicked. So Dark and Steel were created. Not only did they look cool, they performed some good functions. Dark was super effective against Psychic and Ghost. It didn't get hurt by Psychics at all, and it was weak against fighting. That made fighting actually useful, for once. Fighting was also super effective against Steel, and Steel was resistant against Psychic, Dark, Dragon even, and a bunch of other types. It was also weak against Fire. So, in adding those new types and what they were effective against and resistant against, it created better balancing. Fighting types were useful, Fire types received a boost, Psychic and Ghost weren't as powerful. It just all worked out great. There's also a little bit of a retooling with Bug and Poison types, but nobody really cares about them, right? Another thing that Gold and Silver added was a day and night system. Now this was just kind of pretty cool. It just made the world seem like a real world, which is the key to any great video game. It's the key to Ocarina of Time. It's the key to Pokemon Gold and Silver. It just seems realistic. Certain Pokemon were only out at night. Certain Pokemon were out in the daytime. It was just a cool thing to do. If I wanted to catch Hoothoot, I'd have to play the game like right about now. It's in the evening, and I would be able to find one. In this place in the daytime would be like a Sentret or something like that. They also added Pokemon breeding in this game. Almost every species of Pokemon was now split up into male and females. And in fact, some species it was actually more common to find females than males, but anyway. There were also some species that were only one sex, but anyway. It gets pretty complicated. I'll tell you all about breeding in another video. But it's cool, believe me. They also added hold items. Pokemon now could hold onto an item. And in some cases, they would use this in battle. Like, say they got really weak, they would be able to use like a certain berry or whatever it was to heal them a few HP. Now, today, this is huge. This makes all the difference in competitive battling. What item you give your Pokemon to hold can completely change their strength and even what types they can get hit by. It's kind of interesting, actually. I'll tell you more about that in a competitive battling scene when I eventually get to that video in the 4th generation. I think I'm missing something. There's one big thing that they added and I'm not remembering. They started adding some specialty Pokeballs, which is kind of cool. What else? I'm totally forgetting it. It's probably not important. Now, I have a lot of memories from Gold and Silver. I picked Gold myself. There's a certain Pokemon there that I wanted, including Ursaring, I think. Big Bear, normal type, which is kind of cool. Gave it some normal type competition. I remember, who did I pick first? I picked Chikorita. I picked the grass type, which is, well, that was the starting three were actually the first and only generation to have all the same type, all 3 evolutionary stages, which is kind of cool. I remember going to Bellsprout Tower. There's like a bunch of Bellsprout trainers for some reason, and you actually trade a Bellsprout for an Onix there. I don't know why, but you could. There's Team Rocket was back, and they were like cutting off Slowpoke tails and selling them, and it's kind of odd. I don't know. I guess the Slowpoke didn't care. They were too stupid. I remember some woods with Farfetch'd in it, and I remember once you beat all 8 gym leaders and the Elite Four, you could go back to the areas that you explored in the original game. It wasn't so expansive, some of the routes were shortened, but all the main cities were there, and you could find out exactly what happened, and you could fight all 8 gym leaders again, which is cool. You can fight Brock again, you can fight Misty again. Some of the gym leaders had even changed, like I think Koga's daughter is now the gym leader in Fuchsia. Gary is actually the gym leader in Viridian City. I don't know where Giovanni is, but the rival, though, in that game, I don't remember his name, he's actually Giovanni's son, which they don't reveal until Fire Red Leaf Green, which is kind of cool. The Cinnabar Island gym had been destroyed, so it's moved to Seafoam, things like that. It was just cool to explore all that area. It was cool to fight 16 gym leaders, and I really wish they would have done that in other games. I mean, you fight 8, and then it seems like you're done, and they just added more in this game. In fact, the final opponent in the game is actually Ash, or Red, whatever you want to call him, from the original games, which is kind of cool. He's got all his original Pokemon, Pikachu, Charizard, Blastoise, Venusaur, Snorlax, and maybe a Pidgeot. I don't remember what his 6th one is. Don't remember. But you can fight him, which is kind of cool. So, I mean, this game was actually what a lot of people think is the height of the Pokemon series. After the 2nd generation, I guess when this game produced, you could consider it like the height of the popularity or just after the crest. When it came into the 3rd generation of games, some of the original players had grown up a bit. They weren't interested in it as more. Yu-Gi-Oh! Was cutting into some of its base, so it wasn't as popular. And so, I mean, this was kind of, I mean, there are a lot of aspects of this game that when they got rid of them for the 3rd generation, people were pissed. It felt like that they were taking a step backwards. But so this is a game that a lot of people hold close to their hearts, and in fact, there are rumors that there is going to be an enhanced remake for the DS, not unlike Fire Red and Leaf Green for Game Boy Advance. It's just a rumors, and I think the only reason why people think about that is the many references that were made to the events of Gold and Silver in Diamond and Pearl, which I think there's a video on YouTube that states exactly what I'm talking about, or you can just play the game and figure it out for yourself, which I recommend doing. But Gold and Silver was probably the last huge game for the original Game Boy. I mean, it was 11 years old by the time Gold and Silver came out, which is so long in a console's lifespan. I mean, we're not going to be playing the Wii in 8 years, you know. So I hope you enjoy this generation of videos. I will talk about Ruby and Sapphire in the 3rd generation in maybe a week and a half or so, hopefully a week. But enjoy this generation of videos. I will see you in the next video.